It's been 13 months since I lost my husband. 13 months of a silence so loud it's deafening. His name was Modestus, and he was my rock, the father of my two beautiful daughters. His death was sudden, a cruel twist of fate in a car accident that stole him from us in an instant. I remember those first few weeks as a blur. A haze of condolences, teary-eyed relatives, and a hollow ache in my chest that refused to heal. To be honest, I was just trying to survive. I put it all out there on Facebook and TikTok, a desperate cry into the digital void, hoping someone, anyone, would see my pain. Maybe it was a way of making his death feel real, or maybe it was a cry for help I didn't even know I was making. The months that followed were a testament to how alone I felt. My late husband's family, the people who were supposed to be my kin, vanished into the shadows. Not a single phone call. Not a single text message asking how I was managing. It was as if I, and my daughters, were an inconvenient postscript to their son's life. And then, 6 months after the accident, a ghost from my past reappeared. His name was Alex. He was my ex, a man I hadn't seen or spoken to in years. He messaged me, told me he'd found my number on Facebook, and that he'd seen my post about Modestus. I was guarded at first, but his messages were different. They weren't just condolences. He asked about me, about my daughters. It felt like he was seeing me, not just the widow I had become. He started sending me gifts, small things at first, then money. He told me he wasn't married, and he seemed to genuinely care. I was so used to being invisible that this attention felt both foreign and intoxicating. Last December, Alex came through in a way I never expected. My shop, a small boutique I'd been trying to get off the ground, had been locked for over a year. The grief had stolen my motivation, my will to do anything. But Alex saw the potential. He insisted on helping me renovate it. He didn't just talk about it, he did it. He paid for everything, and then he gave me 3 million naira to restock the shop. It was an impossible act of kindness. A lifeline. And that's when it happened. That's when I started to feel something for him again. Something other than gratitude. It was a slow burn, a quiet realization that this man was doing more for me in a few months than anyone else had done in the entire time since Modestus's death. By January, we were officially a couple. And by April, on my birthday, he surprised me with a small car. A new one. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol of his commitment, a clear message that he wanted to be there for me and my children. This newfound happiness, however, didn't go unnoticed. Modestus's family, who had been absent for so long, suddenly reappeared. They started asking questions, their curiosity piqued by the rumors of a new man in my life. I couldn't bring myself to answer them. How could I? Where were they when I was struggling? When I couldn't afford to restock my shop? When I was crying myself to sleep every night? And then, 3 weeks ago, my world tilted on its axis again. I found out I was pregnant. My heart pounded in my chest as I told Alex. I expected fear, maybe a request to slow things down. But his reaction was the exact opposite. He was overjoyed. He didn't hesitate. He told me to keep the baby and that he would come and see my family. He wanted to marry me. Just like that. I was stunned, elated, and terrified. The man who had shown me so much love, who had accepted me and my daughters, was now ready to commit to a life with me. But this is where the story gets complicated. You see, Modestus and I were never legally married. We were cohabiting. We had planned to start the marriage process, but life, as it often does, had other plans. It was a detail I'd kept to myself, one that now felt like a secret waiting to explode. I confided in my best friend, and her reaction was immediate and harsh. "It's too soon," she said, her voice laced with concern. "What will people say? They'll think you had something to do with your husband's death." Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. The fear of public judgment, the whispers and stares, it was a terrifying thought. The idea that people would believe I had a hand in the death of the man I loved, all because I had found love again, was agonizing. But my mother, the one person I thought would side with my friend, surprised me. She looked me in the eye, her wisdom shining through. "My daughter," she said, "you are still young. You deserve happiness. This man accepts you and your children. What do the opinions of others matter more than your own happiness?" And that, my friends, is where I am right now. Stuck between the whispers of "what will people say" and the promise of a life filled with love and stability. I am scared. Terrified of what people will think. But also, for the first time in over a year, I feel hope. Thank you for watching. Do share with friends and loved ones. Please subscribe to our channel.